Hello, hello, hello! Welcome, lovely Steam NextFest viewers, to the Townseek page. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us and clicking on this page. Especially if you've hit it right at the beginning and you're hearing these words, wow, you're an early comer. Congratulations. Welcome to the beauty that is the Townseek NextFest demo. And of course, I'm here with the developers themselves. Yay! Yay! Whales and Games. Yeah, gotta get throwing some dabs. Gotta get them in there. I'll very quickly intro, and then we'll get into some tasty gameplay. But this is Townseek, and we have announced literally just now. This is pre-recorded, but just now we've announced that Super Rare Originals is publishing Townseek. Hooray! Yay! And we're super proud to be able to actually finally be able to talk about this and show it off and play some tasty gameplay. I'll let these two introduce themselves before we jump in. So, Jorge, do you want to say hello to the lovely peeps?
Hi, I'm Jorge. I'm the co-founder and lead programmer at Whales and Games, and I'm from Portugal.
Hello, I am Jorge. I am Moski from Whales and Games. I am the lead artist, and I'm from Mexico.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think we can jump straight into it, Moski.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Alright, so something I should make a quick disclaimer since this is pre-recorded. There are still certain things that we're going to be having on our actual demo that are still not featured here. Like, normally in the actual demo that we're going to be releasing once Steam NextFest kicks off, there's going to be an intro cutscene before you have this introduction to one of the game's charismatic characters, Captain Jawline, which is like a fan favorite. But yeah, there's going to be a bit more, polish. We're still a few days behind the actual Steam NextFest start date, so when you're actually getting the hands on this demo, it's certainly going to have a bit more, a bit more splash and a bit more polish here and there. So just a disclaimer there.
Yeah, the lucky viewers living in the future. Wish we could be there. But yeah, if you haven't already, of course, please do continue listening to us and watching this. But please hit that wishlist button. It helps quite a lot, more than you would know. If you like the look of this at any point, please hit that wishlist button. And do check out the demo. It is downloadable right now. And as mentioned, it's probably going to be a little bit more in there, a little bit more polished than what we're showing off right now. But yeah, do you want to like just tell us in general for people who this may be completely new to this, what kind of game is this? What is it that we're seeing here?
So Townseek is a relaxing exploration trading game, and essentially the whole pitch is essentially those two genres. You travel around the world, as Moski here is going to move around, is going to find both towns and landmarks spread across the world. And that's kind of like the first half of the first part of the game, is that you go around the world, you have like these small spots spread all the way through the map, which you can interact and learn a bit more about this fictional world of Explora. And later on, once Moski has finished his first quest of the basics of exploration, or right now as well, one of the other things is able to find these towns, and in towns you can do trading, you can accept town quests. And you're kind of like ping-ponging between exploring the world, finding like all of these interesting landmarks and all of these interesting details that we've so handcrafted all over the world. And then the other one, you're kind of just like checking which items you have in your inventory, what you got with you. Like Moski, if you can, for example, open trading there.
Yeah, I will get trading there.
It's a trading game. You sell stuff, you buy stuff, and as you do that, you're not only going to improve your relationship with these towns that are all over the map, but you're also going to, unlock upgrades, unlock ship cosmetics. You can decorate your airship like we showed over there on the overworld. And again, the game was painfully and unpainfully hand-drawn by Moski, and his art really outshines.
Thank you very much. It's been a great time working on it. It's one of the few opportunities that I've had to actually handcraft the whole world rather than depend on very unrepeatable patterns or the likes. It allows for a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, it immediately stands out. I think it's the thing that everyone's going to see first, is just how gorgeous everything looks. And there's so many... When I play that, I just love... Because I love the little details in games. There's so many characters, there's so many things just like around in the overworld. And am I right in that, like, some of this is random? Like, it's not just that those birds won't always fly past right there. It's different. It just happens randomly at different spots and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of our design philosophy with this game was really to create an handcrafted experience. Not to this on random experience or roguelikes. Those are amazing and great. For example, Ruin, which these folks have so released recently. But like the actual world design, we really wanted to craft something, defined with like a certain number of towns, a certain number of landmarks. But at the same time, we kind of wanted to give like that. Part of the reason why we made this game was the sense of adventure, exploration, and travel. So when you visit, a place that you might have already visited before, you're going to notice like some random stuff, like Ryan mentioned, like some creatures, like which are small animals that appear on different continents, might have changed around. You might come across crates, like Moski has done there, which have items. You might have some forageables. So since you're pretty much going around these towns like, oh, I just came out of Chartwell, I need to go to Meowsville to sell items. As you do that route multiple times, you might find different things on your paths. So we kind of want to make like that experience of, backtracking, which tends to be like a bit of a chore, let's admit it, on certain games. We really wanted to make sure that, while the world has all of these characteristics, you still have something new to find when you're going back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, for me as well, one thing that I really enjoyed when I played this game is when you watch someone else play it, especially you guys, because obviously you're masters at it, but when you watch someone else play it, it looks like, oh, there's quite a lot to this, it looks like a big world, it looks like there's loads of different items, it looks like there's a lot to do. But then when you play it for the first time, it was actually like, it wasn't complicated. Like I understood, like I really quickly understood how to play, where I was going, what to do, which I really like about that, and I think people will find that from the demo. I think people find actually there's a really good flow. It actually, because I play much slower than this, you are like dashing about or like get stuff done. But me, I was much slower and sort of taking things in, and everyone can kind of play at their own pace. So I really like that. The tutorials are really good at sort of showing people through all these different mechanics. I felt really encouraged to do all these quests and stuff, and yeah, it's just you can. I like that. Like you can play at your own pace. Like if you can sort of speed through, you can sort of chill and look through.
Yeah, I think that connects a bit to the backstory of this game's development. So we started development back in Global Game Jam of 2 years ago now. So it was 2021, and when you're in a game jam, you have a very limited time and scope that you can implement into a game. So we pretty much made like a very small map comparatively to this one, of course. And we just kind of like gave no goals to the player or no onboarding. It was pretty much just a game. It was pretty much a sandbox. Like you could go in,
Right.
like find these towns, find these landmarks. And obviously, as we started turning it into a full game, like not only did, the game have much more content like it has now, we also knew that as we targeted more players and as more people would get their hands into the game, and as the world was many times bigger, that it could be easy to get overwhelmed. So as we've done playtesting, as we've developed, as we've tried with our previous demo from Wholesome Directs, we've been really keen on listening to feedback and testing it with players to like realize just how much onboarding and how much pointing the player in a given direction makes sense for a game like this. So recently we've added, one of the things we've added recently and we focused on recently after the demo from last year was not just the tutorials, those people can skip them if they want, but people who need them really appreciate them. And you might notice, now it's already a bit into the game, but like one of the core design decisions we made very early into the game is that when you start in Chartwell, we make sure that there's absolutely nothing visible other than the town in the camera, because we really want you to just, turn a random dice and see what you find first. So while the starting zone is enclosed, like right from that first moment when you make a first decision, you might end up in Edge of Meowsville, you might end in Driplands, you might end in Boroborg, and that was a very deliberate decision because it's kind of like going left in games, like platformer games where you always go right. Like we wanted to make you be able to go from that first moment wherever you want and what can be your first discovery in this world.
Yeah, part of our philosophy when working on this game was to try to not restrict the player on what decisions they have to do starting the game. Like while the first area of the game is restricted to a few towns, we didn't want to force the player into directly going into one path or to go into quest. If they really want to, they can just explore around and get items. And as you're going to see as we continue playing today, the progression is a bit non-linear after a certain point, so the more the player, they just continue progressing always at their own pace, depending on the activities they actually like doing.
Mm-hmm. And a regular reminder for those that are jumping in right now, that this is Townseek. The demo is available right now as part of Steam NextFest for a limited time, so please do make sure to click the download link below, and while you're at it, please wishlist the game. It helps an awful lot. And let us know if you have any questions and comments. Obviously, this is pre-recorded. We might be in the chat, but in any case, if not, make sure to tweet at Rails and Games on Twitter. Any questions, comments, or just I love this game, I want to hug Captain Jawline, you can totally do that as well. Please do send away.
Yes, this is pre-recorded, but it's very likely that we'll be on chat answering any questions that you might have, and of course you can always, just pop us on Twitter or on Discord, which is also linked on the Steam page, and we'll be very keen on listening to your feedback. In addition to this pre-recorded live stream, we also should be having one on Thursday. At this time, the hour is still to be confirmed, but you will find it on the Steam page, like when as scheduled. We'll actually be having a live one where, we're going to have Moski actually drawing some assets live for the game. So we're going to be asking, like, what do you want to see? We might end up doing a cosmetic, we might end up doing a new creature. So that will definitely be very fun.
Speaking of, actually, one of my favorite things is all the cosmetic options for the ship, and I think we start off with some of the little cameo ones. So those are available from the get-go.
Yes, they will likely be unlockable by either achievements or by progression later on. But for this demo, we're still checking on devs on which ones we can have. But if Moski scrolls down there, so this is your journal. It shows you like it's pretty much your hub for the entire game. You have the inventory, the diary of Sir Reginald Sharkingston, which is this character who follows the story. Your item collection, and then you have the cosmetics here. Obviously, the actual retail version has way many more cosmetics than we can have here on the demo. It's a demo for a reason, but some of the devs we've talked to have been very kind on letting us have these characters here for Steam NextFest.
Yeah, it's such a lovely addition. There's our boy Grapple Dog there, hanging on for dear life at the back of the ship. And yeah, what I really like about the journal as well is that it does track sort of all the items you've had and stuff as sort of a glossary. And I love that kind of thing in games. I'm definitely someone that likes to fill those kind of lists out. So I would feel definitely encouraged to sort of buy one of everything eventually in these shops, and not just spend all my money on donuts, because I think they're cool.
So that's been one of the interesting things about working on this game. Like, we've always, since we started Wilson Games and we started trying to make a full retail product that ended up being Townseek, as we were always very keen on this kind of abstract idea of a game telling us what it wants to be as you develop it. So obviously as your own experiences and as we actually start getting the mechanics in, as you start hearing feedback from the players, even if we have an initial concept and these features we want to include, obviously those get reshaped a bit, to better fit what vision the game is getting on the long term. So it's kind of funny because, the game is still relaxing and it's still very much a trading game, but it's interesting, as you start getting near the end of the demo and even midway through the retail version, the game kind of changes gears into a collectathon, because you start having access to all of these different activities, like if Moski can do there for a bit, fishing, for example. It kind of becomes a bit collectathon in a way, because now you're trying to get these different items from all over the world. Some of them might require you to level up with town, which might require you to do quests, and it's very interesting to just look at that and how player motivations change as they get more and more comfortable with the game.
Yes, we made this game originally inspired by some others like Merchant of the Skies, which were about trading simulation, but we decided to go a bit more into the more relaxing aspects of it, and instead try to find a lot of things to do without forcing the player to grind a lot or worry about inventory spaces, fuel, or the like. So while we have we have over 300 items to unlock right now, and we still have a long way to go. But we are not forcing the player to get them all if they want to finish the game. It's just want to see the player enjoy finding new stuff.
And yeah, and we're definitely going to be tying those to like more age unlockable cosmetics or unlockable activities as you go along. So you have, you don't need it to complete the main story. We actually want the main story to be very, I wouldn't say hands off, but very like lenient. So like you can take it at your own pace, or you can do it in a sitting. Here on the demo, you literally just have like the very first couple set of quests, because we have like a very limited section of the world of. But we're going to be tying sections of the collection to achievements. We're going to be tying them to like unlockable rewards. So you're kind of just motivated to go along. For example, one of the things we recently added, and that was feedback from our previous demo, is this bar that appears like when you're near an activity, like Moski's here with fishing. So that kind of gives you an idea, like, oh, you can get these items that you're missing from your collection from these spots, because different spots in the worlds will have different things you can find on them.
Yeah, on some of the quests, we got some feedback that people were not really doing them because they forgot where to find the items. And now that if you have found, for example, the squid, and a quest asks you for the squid, you can just go to this place and try to get it. So it's a lot easier, and less guessing, and less remembering.
Yeah, that's great, and I love all the huge variety of all the items and stuff as well, because obviously the fact that you've drawn all of them is amazing. And yeah, I'm really curious to see what people's favorite items are going to be, of course what people's favorite characters are going to be. I'm sure fan art is going to be a thing. I personally already is in fact. Yeah, I personally just want to see all the fan art in the world of the donut pizza. I just want let's make it a thing. Let's make donut pizzas real. Need it in my life. And the buff cats, of course. Yeah, the whole game is just absolutely just full of so much character. It's one of my favorite things about it. It's just entertaining wherever you look. So much stuff to see, so much stuff to take in, and I love that.
Yeah, like when we were on the brainstorming room for this game, the thing that there were most of is like always ideas, but you can obviously have to cut down at a certain point. But our goal as development has gone on, and as we kind of like reshape development again because of that player feedback, it's interesting to see certain parts of the game also change. So people really kindred to town hosts. So these characters that appear whenever you're trading with them in a given town. And so, for example, recently we started adding portraits to them because, to add even more like reaction and feedback to the actions you do with them. So like if you train certain items like fish, they will react differently than if you, for example, trade with them minerals. As they tell you the story of Sir Reginald Sharkingston, they'll also react differently as different things they say. Like they might hint at things that have happened before. They might hint you at things that are to come. They might give you some, tutorials and help about certain things. So it's just interesting to see, these characters getting so much love, and just also growing as we, continue developing the game.
What I also really liked is internally with Super Rare recently we did that tier list where everyone internally ranks who their favorite characters are in the game, and I think this is a positive that everyone's was wildly different. Everyone's was so different except from Captain Jawline. I think everyone had him up top, but everyone's
Sharks are popular.
Sharks are popular, yeah, and you can't deny he looks rad. He looks cool. But yeah, I really like that everyone's tier list was really different. People liked certain characters more than others, which I think is great. Like, it's definitely, I feel that, some people are going to love Blubby, and that's brilliant. Some people are going to love Captain Jawline. Yeah, I think that's really great. I think there's definitely something here for everyone, which is lovely.
It's interesting because from our experiments with that tier list, because of the fantastic nature of the worlds, some of the human characters are normally the ones that rank the lowest. So that's always fun to see. But yeah, no, we've got a huge Diversity. If you follow us on Twitter or on any other social media, even on Discord, we are very frequently always posting like either progress of the game, places that you can visit, stuff that's not like included on the demo. But we're obviously keeping some town hosts that are already in the game, but we're keeping them a secret specifically so you have that element of surprise when you actually get the game on your hands. And oh yeah, there's a bit of a typo there. So when you get the game on your hands, you have some more town hosts than what we're showing on social media to find out for yourself.
Also, I think you've got to this point in the game in 20 minutes in the time that I did in about an hour. Like an hour.
Yeah, but between when you played and the version that we have now, we definitely made the story quests a bit more prominent, so people can get to unlock more of this demo map, which is like blocked off by these clouds much faster. So
yeah, I actually even appreciate that the clouds sort of block off some areas, because then I think there's a propensity for some people to just wildly go completely off course and end up getting lost and confused what they're doing. I do like that there's like gradual openingness. Yeah, it's just, I think you've done a fantastic job of making the game flow well, making people understand what they're doing, making them have a good time and explore without feeling lost. Which I think is, if I'm honest, like not something that every game manages to accomplish properly. And that's definitely here. An absolute favourite, the mayor here.
The favorite. It's funny because it's definitely a divisible character. The one thing that people don't normally realize is that the world of Explora also draws a lot of inspiration from our own history as like this game jam studio. So certain characters and some of the towns are inspired from previous games of ours, and the mayor here and the town of Florides is definitely inspired on our very first game, the farming one, which comes like from 2014, 2015. We were still like high school students, just getting our foot on the door with game developments, and yet this guy always appears somehow in certain places. So
I love that.
That's a fun fact of trivia.
I like all the fun fact trivia. Yeah, I mean, I've obviously been playing Wells and games and stuff for even before we worked together on Townseek, like some of your older jam stuff, and there was always something special about each of those games. Extremely, even though working on it, I am personally extremely excited to play the full version of this. So how long have you two been working together as Wilds and Games then? How long has that been?
So officially Wills and Games has been like, we're headed into our 6th anniversary now. 6 years might sound a lot for a game development studio, but a good point to make is that we were still college students at the very start of those years. So like year 1 to 4 was mostly us just doing jam games and not really doing much most of the time. But with the pandemic and changing job conditions, we kind of decided like, hey, no, we really want to set our foot on the door with game development, and we really want to create something special. And like our jam games have already been so well received over the years. Obviously they were not perfect because we were growing as game designers and as game developers, but they will always add this like general positive feedback to them, so we were very confident that we could create something special. And well, I don't fully agree with the sentiment. Townseek was really a case of like being on the right place at the right time. So the idea just came together, and then like all of the motivation to bring it forward as a full game just went forward. And then yeah, things happened. We started talking with folks, and we ended up landing with the folk as Super Rare.
Yay!
And it's been almost a year now, and yeah, it's always very exciting stuff to talk about, but we've had to keep it under locks for a while now, while we prepared all of the announcements and all of just continued working on the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think a lot of people that maybe are watching this and might be playing this don't realize how long stuff is in the works sometimes. Like we have been talking for a year. We've been waiting a long time to finally be able to start talking about Townseek. So very, very excited that we finally can. I should give another reminder just in case people are popping in from the Steam NextFest broadcast section, or maybe you found us on Twitter or elsewhere. But this is Townseek. Please do give a go of the demo. It is available to play right now for a very limited time during Steam NextFest. And please, if you haven't already, please wishlist the game. It really, really actually does help a lot, because the algorithm gods commanded it. And if you have any queries and questions, you can drop them in the chat here. This is pre-recorded, so you might be better off heading to Discord or sending a question to @Wowzers on Twitter. And yeah, we love feedback. We love suggestions of stuff. We also love little fishing bears. Apparently. Yeah. So I guess at the moment, like the flow is we're just running some quests. We're lining up some quests. We're finding a bunch of items. We just recently got this mining mechanic, which unlocks. Oh, there's a little game.
There's the beehive. And yeah, and you might find some reference here and there. Some of them are very obscure, and some of them are very obvious if you know where to look. Me and Moski are certain that there's certain references, like even on the creatures themselves. Some of them might be very obvious, and some might be less obvious, depending on where you look.
I mean, I can see what that one is. This little, there's one there. I'm gonna take that as a challenge. Actually, I'm gonna try and recognize what literally every reference is. Not here, in my own time. I'll try and listen.
Let's see if anyone figures out what you might sometimes see as a pink alligator with a white bird next to them. That one is a bit obscure, but people who might spot it out now, especially not that I said it out loud, might
it's a lot more relevant now because of the release of Persona 3 Portable on Steam. So
you're not supposed to say it.
Just saying, it's one of my favorite RPGs. Whatever. Sorry, this is about Townseek, not about Persona.
And anyone that's here in this chat, you just got an exclusive little Easter egg reveal right there. But yeah, I love all of that. It's so overused word, but everything about this is just so charming with all the references, all the items. It's just one of these games where I feel like I could load it up and I don't know how I could possibly be unhappy whilst playing Townseek.
So one thing I should mention, and allow me to grab it really quickly. I normally don't do this during streams, but I'm going to do it because that's how it works. If you're interested,
Here we go.
you can actually try out the demo using this wonderful device, because we're on Steam, the Steam NextFest, and you can actually try it on this or any portable computer you might have around. And while we're still working on like full-fledged controller supports, we've actually added like a custom Steam input mapping that gets automatically loaded into the demo when you start it up. Like it essentially binds the cursor, so it still feels comfortable to play, even if you're still working on like the controls and getting everything polished on that regards.
Amazing. Yeah, when the final release comes and I'm gonna sit there with a nice hot chocolate and then play this game from start to finish and 100% it. It probably is going to be on the Steam Deck. That may very well be how I actually end up playing it to this.
And we pictured that that might just be like the best way to play, honestly.
Amazing. Yeah. Really excited to get some feedback from people and have them play this demo once it's out in the wild. Hear what people think about it. Please do let us know. Please do try it out and do let us actually know what you make of this.
And I'm going to steal Ryan's spotlight for this segment and be the one to tell you to actually wishlist the game, because you really have to believe just how much it actually helps us. And like it's just how games work. Like the more you wishlist, the more buzz there is for it, both on Steam and outside of Steam, and it just really helps us out. And just the more wishlist, the more we can put effort into this game and just try to answer as much feedback as possible, because it also gives us peace of mind to see that the game is doing well. So if you can, please wishlist it. If you want to speak with us, we are almost always available on our Discord, which you can also find on the page itself and on social media. So yeah, little rule swap there, Ryan. You didn't see it coming.
Oh my gosh, my job's taken. Jorge is going to be doing my job now. He's going to develop a game and do everything. Yeah, I love all of this customization stuff as well.
So, Moski, you want to share some more trivia or facts about how you go about doing the art of the game?
Well, the artwork is done on Clip Studio Paint. it took inspirations of both hand-drawn style and of pixel art. So it's like a weird hybrid of both. And it's animated within the engine and Unity. So most of the stuff is a few frames big, but it draws inspirations of a bit of Paper Mario, like of the animation here. And how everything looks both handcrafted, but also, what do you call it? Still paper-like up to a point. It got lost a bit from one version to the other, but the original version of this game, the style was made to look like a big old map with a lot of brown and some color here and there for the towns. But when we decided to jump and make the full version of the game, we thought that the players will find the game to be extremely monotone. So the first two ideas were to add a lot more color, and second to add a lot more diversity in biomes. So while a lot of the game is this blue greenish because of the ocean, here you have a lot of yellow, a lot of green. On some other areas you're going to have a lot of brown, a lot of purple. Here there's just a batch of colors because of the slime. So the artwork itself is just built around creating areas
it makes the environments.
Yeah.
It makes the environments look really diverse.
Like at some point we need to try to find to see if people are actually remembering where everything is, but so far it's actually making areas a lot more memorable than when it was just brown.
Because, you know, as an indie team, you kind of have to figure out like a middle point between, you know, how much content you can really produce for a game because of limited time and resources, but also still make it, you know, stylish and presentable. So I think the art style we found with Townseek really fits, and like Moski was mentioning, to frame rate most objects in the game literally only have 3 frames of animation. But because all of them share that same philosophy, it kind of like gives this game like a very cohesive feeling. Some objects, very few objects have more than 3 frames, and this was like proposed because, anyway, it cuts on our ends because it allows us to work on more landmarks and more places. The animation still gives it charm and still gives it like more attention and still gives it more personality, but it also doesn't overload us with work that we would spend, for example, like 2 or 3 weeks on a landmark. Instead, we spend like 2 or 3 days, and it allows us to do more and still make the game feel, you know, gorgeous.
This game, the original Jam version was made well within the constraints of a Jam and polished until 1 month later. So right now we're mainly a team of 2. Also we got a musician, but that means that we cannot spend a lot of time on animating a specific character for a long time. We need to move from one task to another to create both a cohesive and diverse world within our time constraints.
Not to make players feel ripped off, like obviously we're putting a lot of work and effort into the game, and you know, it's interesting to also give this perspective from a developer side, like how you kind of have to make ends meet across, you know, all different sorts of departments, features you want to implement, art you want to make. Like for example, one of our early ideas was to have characters fully animated, and we were like, no, it's better to just go for portraits that have like more exaggerated movement between them, like there when Whiskey makes his big smile. Give us a big smile, Whiskey.
There he is.
There you go. So like we can try more with these portraits rather than spending like again 2 weeks just moving the arms, and it will probably look very junky. So it's been very interesting to develop this game and also learn alongside it as game developers.
We've come a very long way.
But I also think like it very much gives the game its own sense of character as well, like the style and how things are animated. You know, it's interesting that through constraint, something beautiful has kind of happened, which I always really like that with kind of game design in general. I really like that. Oh, we have this constraint here, and then that itself makes it a lot more focused, a lot more interesting, and that's definitely the case here. I also really like that each island, I suppose, each world is so thematic. Like as you were saying, you were hoping that players aren't getting lost, and while I play, I may not necessarily remember the name Driplands, but I go, okay, I need to decide this for the gooey place. this is for the gooey land, and this is for the cat land and stuff like that. So yeah, I think those thematic elements really do help people remember places well, remember where certain items are being traded. That's a tree with a beard.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we're definitely going to have things to help the players on the full version in terms of like where they are. They're definitely going to have a world map. We are not sure yet. We cannot confirm just yet if it's going to be on the demo yet. Probably not. We're going to be checking on how that goes. But like we definitely want to give players a world map so they don't get lost as well. But also give like these places character and location. So like you mentioned, you might not remember the name Driplands for while you're still playing the game, but as you go, as you do quests, as you do the story quests, you kind of just start learning things bit by bit. So it's kind of like, obviously we're the developers, we look at this game every single day, but like we could actually, list all the towns from left to right if we wanted. And while we don't expect players to do that because there's tons of wonderful games out there to also play other than just ours, but definitely play ours please. I think people are going to, especially for example, they might recognize, okay, Sharkwell is here because it was next to these bunny continents. So again, it's explores that feeling of exploration that we all have within us. Of just remembering where we are. It's interesting, very interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to do the regularly scheduled reminder now for those that are maybe popping in to the page just now that this is Townseek. It's gorgeous, it's lovely, it's a wonderful, beautiful, wholesome adventure trading sim. Please check out the demo. It is available to play for free right now for a limited time, only during Steam NextFest. So please do check it out by clicking that button below. And please do drop a wish list if you haven't already. It helps an awful lot. Honestly, you'd be shocked how much it helps. It helps a lot. If this does interest you at all, please do drop it a wish list. This is pre-recorded at the moment, and will be rolled during a lot of Steam NextFest. So if you do want to ask us a question, you have feedback, say, oh my gosh, please put this time in, or anything like that, please do direct your questions, feedback, and all that sort of lovely stuff to @WalesandGames on Twitter, or join the Discord and jump in the conversation there.
And even the Steam discussions, if you feel comfortable using the Steam discussions to give us feedback, you can also do that, and we'll also, we'll also have a demo feedback thread. You can just add there and just, give us all your thoughts. You can make a new thread. You can add us on Discord, and you'll definitely be heard, unless you asked us, for example, to make this into a rhythm game. We might not be able to cater to that, but if you tell us, hey, a location like this will be fun. Oh, I feel like it would be nice if we add this feature. It will help me like manage my quests. Those we will definitely take into consideration. Talk them with the team, check if we can do it within our development schedule. You're very welcome to share your feedback with us.
Yeah, I love that. I think, by the way, that we completely changed the look of the airship without me even noticing. I don't know how or when that happened, but the last time I looked, we were a Captain Jawline looking thing, and now we're...
You know what we should do, Ryan? We should market this as a visual SMR game. There you go. We've got a new marketing edge.
Just hide the UI and say it's a wallpaper generator.
That's it. New marketing tactic.
It's actually something we're keen on exploring, but it's very likely that over the course of the next few months, we're going to be sharing a bit more looks at these zones, not with the player, but as we get more polish and details and particles in, we definitely want to share some visual shots of the game. And there are certain features that we cannot confirm at this time, but we're definitely keen on working on. That will definitely go to that side of the fact that this world is so visually appealing, and you see so many different things on it. That's stuff for later down the road.
Am I right in was there a cube globe earlier? And that was new to me. I hadn't seen that cube globe of it.
So
yeah, I like just seeing all the different items.
So in terms of game, the world is technically a donut because you kind of go around to edges, but canonically, in terms of story, Explora is a cube. Yes, it's just that there's no plausible or comfortable way to turn, a cube projection into an interesting game map. So just let your imagination play around a bit with that. But canonically, it is a cube.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah, it's a fun fact that most JRPGs maps are actually donuts because you wrap around the edges. up and down and left and right, and you can actually do that on Townseek as well. But again, for fun, canonically the world is a cube. You might see some character referencing that. You might find items referencing that, and icons, and just the entire visual language of the game. But yeah, Explora has been a very fun world to develop on that regards.
I love that you've even gone that far down into this world lore. You know what shape it is.
I've been writing a lot about the characters and the world setting itself. I possibly have like 5 times more the content that we're actually going to be able to put in the game, for the sake of scope and to not have the localization go up so high. But a lot of the world has some almost everything in the world has some semblance of exploration of explanation behind them. Like later down the line, I don't want to spoil more of the game, but pretty much everything can be explained either through one thing or another. It can be science, magic, or anything beyond that. The creative progress of the process of creating this game has allowed us to create as many varied characters as possible, and still have them feel like they're all part of the same world.
Yeah, I love that. It's really good.
Moski, I'm about to drop our new tagline. Okay, I shouldn't be saying this, but still. To one piece of exploration games. There you go.
Well,
I love
don't want
that.
to say, but
Annie, who works on the team, will be very happy to hear that. She loves that.
No, we'll just say it's an inspiration for your process, Moski, and for what's help create. Okay, fair.
Yes.
I know the answer, but the people who play the game don't see it at first.
okay, like this game is possibly an amalgam of like 1,000 inspirations. One of them just so happened to be One Piece. Okay.
I like that. I'm looking forward to trying to spot where all these references and inspirations are and what they might be. Yeah.
And Moski stays buying some more cosmetics. So again, as you start advancing into the game, that one is adorable, for example. You're definitely going to be seeing a lot of cosmetics, and especially now that we're midway through development. They're not going to be on this demo, but some of the cosmetics we're doing now are like really, really unique, and we cannot wait to have people watch those.
Yeah, question: is the rabbit alive?
Right?
Because if the rabbit flipped to the other side, that carrot will be done for.
Oh no!
What?
This is unintended.
These are the Townseek lore questions we need to be asking.
Yeah, I just have not noticed that until now. Whatever. They're friends.
Rabbit airships. Maybe they don't eat carrots, rabbit airships.
Yeah.
Whiskey.
Yeah, I do love whiskey. Is that a Wales and Games keychain? Is that one of the items?
Yes, it is. So one of the things that we try to figure out, like how to make interesting, each town has their own unique items, as we mentioned, like at the start of this live stream. But you also have various global items that are spread across the world, and we were just trying to figure out like what makes some interesting items, so we can reserve some more interesting ones for each town culture. So. These are fictional characters, this is a fictional world, but a lot of it also fetches inspiration from real world concepts and real world regions, and we hope that as players go through the game, they're able to find a bit of home on the game for sure.
That's nice. I like that. Am I right in saying that when you go to a new location, you can only accept like 2 quests at a time from each one? So then. Which I like that it does that, because it encourages you to not just stack them all up and never go back. It encourages this exploration of returning back to places, checking these different places. And of course you can check your extra town quests at any time. Anyway,
the amount of town quests you can accept actually grows as you rank up with the town. So as you level up, more quests become available, and you can also take more. So there's some quests with better rewards that are just rank locked, and since you already have a good stack of quests just from the first rank, as you get the second one, you might want to cherry pick a bit more, so we give you an extra slot per rank up, so you can manage that better.
Gotcha. and maybe something that people aren't seeing as well is when you are buying and selling items, certain locations will buy things at different prices or higher prices, and sometimes that's timed as well. And I like all that. Again, it just encourages like more exploration, more trading between all the different islands. Yeah,
you can really go about this. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I definitely just feel encouraged to just go around and just keep going back to lots of different places and actually explore different places a lot.
There are a lot of like mechanics in a way that they're not overwhelming, but they definitely let you go around the world and try to get the resources, get either currency or items in the way that you find preferable. So, for example, some of the early town might have quests that require you to fish certain fishes, and as you go further into the world, there might be towns that actually have those fish in stock, but locked behind a certain rank. So you might either actually go try to fish them yourself, or you might change your strategy. So now you're like trying to rank up these towns so you can get that stock faster. So while story quests are predefined and they're crafted by us and written by us, the town quests are actually, they're still crafted by us. Like they still have a set of parameters for each town and for each quest that are predefined by us and designed by us. But like town quests will actually normally have 1 or 2 random parameters. So like, for example, you might be asked to bring tourists from that town to a given landmark, and every time you check this quest, they might actually ask you to go to a different landmark than they asked you previously. Same with the items, same with the fishes, same with the tasks that they give you.
Awesome. And I think we'll be wrapping up soon, but I believe we've just unlocked farming. Is that correct?
Yes, we do.
Ooh.
So we actually enabled that for the demo. Previous demo only adds mining and fishing and the general foraging, but here we have farming. Moski doesn't have any seeds, but I bet he can get some really quick. There are some, yes. So farming was designed more, fishing and mining are things that you can essentially do as you travel to worlds, but we wanted to give farming like more as these passive sort of activities. So you plant here different crops, each shown as like 4 different types of seeds. And, as you go explore somewhere else, the crops will be growing meanwhile. So you can just go, trade with other towns or explore different areas of the world. And next time you pass by here, they'll be ready for you to pick and just sell or deliver to quests.
Love that. Yeah, I love that. I love it when that happens. Are we moving at super speed now? Oh my goodness. But yeah, I love that. I love it when games do that, where you have something that's just happening while you're going and exploring about.
Yep.
Amazing, cool. Well, hopefully this has been a good little sneak peek, a little nice taster for people to try out Townseek. And I suppose one last time I'll do the PR spiel,
Go ahead.
which is that this game is and was and always will be Townseek, a wonderful, genuinely adorable exploration, chill, wholesome adventure trading game. Please do try out the demo available below. It's only available for a limited time over Steam NextFest, so you do want to try it out while you can. Obviously, it's not finished. There's stuff that isn't in it yet and things that will change, but it's definitely worth trying out now. I still think it's super fun. And please do hit that lovely wishlist button as well. Helps us more than you'll know. Scary amount. It helps us a lot. Please do click that. And if you have any questions, because this is pre-recorded and will be re-rolled over the course of the week, please do fire any questions over to @WalesandGames on Twitter. Questions, feedback about the demo, what you liked, what you didn't like, if you would think that any features or specific items are really cool. These guys are amazing at listening to all that, and we'll take it on board. Or you can pop into the Discord or in the Steam discussions instead. And yeah, we're just very excited to finally be able to talk about this at Super Rare. Just so we thought, Steam NextFest, hey, let's announce that we're actually publishing it as well. Genuinely so excited to be able to
It's been very enthusiastic, and working with you guys has definitely helped a lot.
We feel likewise. Everyone here genuinely loves Townseek and genuinely loves these guys as well. Like you guys watching wouldn't believe how lovely and talented and friendly these people are and always have been.
Thank you.
It is an absolute honor to be able to work on this. So yeah, thank you very much for joining. If you aren't joining this live, you're about to watch it start re-rolling. If you did watch this live, amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you soon. Please make sure to follow us on all those channels. I'll let these guys say goodbye as well.
thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you up on the Steam discussions on Discord or on Twitter. Feel free to reach out.
Okay, yeah, so, well, thank you very much, and that will be all. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.